Hi everyone, and welcome back to another tag making video. Please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel. So today I really wanted to focus on using my existing stash to create today's card project. I tend to forget all about the crafty goodness I have already invested in, so I went shopping in my craft room. The products I picked out will be listed in the description box below, so let's get started. So I cut two tags. Oops, sorry for the glare. There's a big window behind me that I can't shut at the moment, but I cut out two tags, and the reason I cut out two tags is just in case I get the back of the one tag dirty or inky. I have another one that I can pair up together and have a clean backing to be able to write my to, from, and my messages. So I always like to do that. I always like to cut out two pairs of tags. Not to mention, if you look on the tag up close from die cutting, it leaves an impression. And so it doesn't always look the best. So by cutting out a fresh tag, we don't have that impression. And I can glue them together and it'll be beautiful. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera. It'll be beautiful in the front and it'll be beautiful and clean on the back. And then I can write my message. So that is why I cut out two tags. If you look, there's a couple of layers on this card. And so the first layer is I stamped with a really light colored ink because I don't want it to overpower the tag. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with that layer first. To do this, I'm going to bring in my Misti, and I'm going to be using the Simon Says Stamp. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to block out that glare. The Simon Says Stamp Friendship Text Background. So that's what I'm going to use. It is a red rubber cling stamp. And so what you'll need to do is you'll need to take out the center of the Misti pad. So there's nothing in here. And there's two ways you can do this. You can, well, first you want to remove this. This is the carrier sheet. You can either put your red rubber cling stamp inside the Misti, and sometimes I like to do this if I want to see my image to be able to line that up. If I do not care as much, then you could also stick your red rubber cling stamp to the door of your Misti, put in your paper here, close it, and stamp. So we can actually do that. Let me grab some tape. Actually, you know what? To keep this in frame, I'm actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to lay my stamp inside. I'm going to grab my tag. I'm going to add some low-tack tape behind it so that way I can grab it with the door of my Misti. I'm going to flip this over, put my tape on there. I feel like this might be a little crooked. I'm going to use the lines of my Misti to kind of line up my stamp. Okay, so then I'm going to close the door of my Misti. That tape is going to pick up my tag. And I'm going to, so you're going to see a little bit of the glare because I got to reach over, so sorry, I apologize. But I'm going to use my Gina K Designs Amalgam Ink Cube. And this is in the, oh, you can't really see it. It kind of got mucky. But this is the color Whisper. And I like this because it is a very light ink. It's really good for no line coloring, and it's really, really good for kind of that watermark look as well. So that's what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to, I don't need to I don't need to stamp the entire stamp because I only need to concentrate where the tag is. So I'm kind of just getting a visual of where I need to ink up, which is kind of along here. And the best part about using the Misti is I can re-stamp if I miss some areas. So I'm sorry I'm kind of shaking you guys around. I don't mean to, but I'm pressing this ink down. And I'm going to close my Misti. I'm going to get my stamp tool. I'm just going to run that along the tag, kind of giving it even pressure. So I'm going to open that, I'm going to look, and I'm going to stamp it one more time. I did order, because I do this a lot, I did order the full-size ink pad just to make things like this a little bit easier for myself. I don't really, to be honest with you guys, I don't have full-size ink pads. I do have my Distress Oxide inks, but I don't really count that as a full-size ink pad, even though technically it is. I don't have the minis for my Distress Oxides, but other than that, I don't have full-size ink pads. I have a problem with wanting the entire collection, and for my budget, getting the entire collection of Gina K Designs dye inks was to invest in the ink cubes and get the re-inkers. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to get all of her full-size ink pads because I really like her ink line, but for now, I'll just work with what I got. Okay, so I went ahead and double stamped. This is what it looks like. And so right now it's a little dark, but the ink will dry back. So it'll lighten up a little bit. All right, so we're gonna move this off to the side. Now we're gonna work on our heat embossing our snowflakes. So my other Misti, I love this Misti. This is my OG Misti. I actually broke this Misti. I don't know how, because I don't do anything I'm not supposed to or that's not recommended. But for some reason, the hinge, and it's dirty because we tried to fix it with super glue. And what it really needs is acrylic glue, which we have, just not at this location. But if you could see, it snapped, it sheared right off the hinge. So it still works because I still have two attached hinges. It's just this hinge. So what I do is normally I like to open my Misti like a book, but in this case, because this hinge is broken and I don't want to create more stress on it, I'm actually going to flip it probably the way the Misti was intended, which is I think is this way, but you know, just use it the way that you like to use it. Either way, it's going to work. It's not like one way's better than the other. They both accomplish the same thing. You can even use it this way if you like. So anyways, it's really weird for me to use it this way. I'm not going to lie. A little uncomfortable just because I'm so used to the other way. Okay, so inside my well-loved Misti, I have the Grip Mat by My Sweet Petunia. And I have it taped down. And the reason why I have it taped down is because it's not a snug fit when you put it inside the Misti. And it shifts a little. And so to make sure that my panel stays in the exact same spot, especially if I have them butted up into the corners, is to tape it down so it doesn't shift. I also taped down my mat as well. So that way it doesn't shift. So I'm going to peel back the liner. There's a protective liner because again, this is sticky. And we're going to heat emboss. Since we're heat embossing, we do need to prep our card. And what I mean by prep is you want to lay down your anti-static powder first. So that way you're getting rid of all the powder before using your clear sticky ink. You only want the powder to stick to the ink, nowhere else. Because this is sticky, you don't want to put your powder on the sticky mat because it'll make it not stick anymore. You could probably just wash it off under warm water to make it stick again, but best practice is to not do it. So I'm actually going to shift this over and I'm going to prep my tag. This is my anti-static powder tool from Tailored Expressions. I like this a lot. I do have, back in the day, a container that has a powder bag in it. And I still use this. It's just a lot more messy. I also have, I believe this one was by the, is it EK Success? And I have this tool, but I'm not a fan of it. I like the powder, but I don't like the brush. The powder does not come out very well. I actually cut my bristles. They're a lot longer. Not my favorite, not a fan. But the one that I love the most has been the Tailored Expressions. So I'm gonna prep my, oops, I'm gonna prep my tag. And I'm going to lay that down in my Misti. Being careful not to get my fingerprints on the tag. Otherwise the powder will stick to where my fingerprints were. So I am going to be using the Simon Says stamp. What is this one called? Snow Love Stamp Set. And it has a bunch of the different snowflakes. I'm contemplating using the Snowflake Season stamp set. This is a very well-loved stamp set. It's one of my favorites. But because I use it a lot, I opted to switch to the Snow Love stamp set. So I'm going to take that out of the packaging. And then I'm just going to kind of place the snowflakes randomly on the tag. Before I do though, because I have this powdered, I am going to, I gotta find it. I'm gonna use my Simon Says Stamp Grid Transparency to help me place my snowflakes on top. Because like I said, I already have that powdered and I don't want to remove the powder from that. So take our stamp, let's see. And I'm just gonna kind of lay them. I kind of like the arrangement on the carrier sheet. So maybe I'll just copy that. So we're gonna put a snowflake here. Or do I want to cover most of that? Now I'm gonna bring it down here. This is the hardest part, is laying everything out. And then let's bring this one maybe right here. Oop. Line that up there. And then maybe we will go right here. Although I kind of like this little tiny one, so maybe I will go and plop him in there. Sticks to my fingers. There we go. Let's see. Let's put this one up here. And put you right there. Ooh, oops. Look at that. need one right here. And I think this one's too big. So let's try to get it to work. Try to fit that in there. Maybe if I move you a little bit, I'll put you there. That'll work. Okay. So I'm gonna lay this, shut the Misti, pick up my stamps. And then I'm gonna remove my transparency. And I've used these stamps before, so I don't need to prep them. Oops. If they were brand new, you just kind of rub your hands over them to kind of condition them. When you condition them, you can tell because the stamp will turn cloudy instead of a shiny. So I will be using my Versamark ink pad. I actually have two. I have one that's nice and clean, and then I have one that's kind of dirty, but because these are clean stamps, I can use my, my clean pad. So I'm gonna ink these up. And this pad is really juicy, so normally I usually stamp twice, but because this is a juicy pad, I'll probably just stamp it once. Over, close the door, and I don't really want to press really hard. I don't want to squish the snowflakes. The lines are pretty thick, so I shouldn't have a problem, but if they had tiny lines, you don't want to distort them. So I'm going to use just kind of a medium pressure here to make sure everything is stamped clearly. And you probably can't see it, but in the light, let me see if you can. I don't know if you can, but you can kind of see the sheen from the clear ink pad. And so I'm just kind of looking around to make sure I got a good impression, which I think I'm actually missing an impression right there. So I do have to ink it twice. I missed a spot. The nice part about it being in the Misti is I don't have to worry about it lining up because it's going to be in the exact same spot. And because my mats are taped down, there's no shifting. So it was right here is where I was missing that. Right there. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to gently peel this from my mat. Set this off to the side. I'm going to get out a scrap piece of paper. Normally I would use clear, but in this case I'm actually going to use an embossing powder I've been hoarding, which is called White Pearl. And I'm just gonna dump this all over my tag. I feel like I'm gonna drop it. And this will be kind of our second layer. Okay. And because this is more of a pearl embossing powder, I actually don't mind if it sticks to areas that I don't want it to, because it's just going to give it kind of a sheen to it. That looks great. So I'm just going to funnel this back in. Put my little scooper. To make sure I don't melt any embossing powder on my mat, I actually have a very well-loved Swiffer cloth. I'm just going to run that over my mat. Then I'm going to grab my heat tool. And then I'm going to preheat my heat tool to make sure that it's nice and hot. I talk about preheating your heat tool a lot in my videos because my cardstock doesn't warp as much when I preheat it. So just a little bit of curling, but once the cardstock cools, it'll flatten. Anyways, here's that shine. I did miss the spot right here, but that's okay because it's gonna get covered up by the candy canes. If you wanted to, you can put it back in your Misti and re-stamp it. Like I said, it's gonna be covered up, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so next we are going to work on the third layer, which is we're going to stencil on the trees. So unfortunately, this stencil is from, it's not unfortunate that it's from My Favorite Things. What's unfortunate is the fact that My Favorite Things discontinued this stencil. I love this stencil. So you may have it, you may not have it. If you don't, there are plenty of other stencils out there. Use what you have. Okay. So here's the stencil. Tumbled glass, milled lavender, and tumbled glass. And I like to put them on, I believe this is just drawer liner that I got from like the dollar store. I just cut a piece and it works really good. So I'm gonna line up my stencil. Actually, let me get in frame a little bit better. Just kind of making sure the trees cover most of my tag. I actually like it right there because I'm looking at all sides, all the sides of my tag to make sure there's some sort of piece of tree. And I think that works great. So to make sure, nothing shifts, I'm actually going to, oh, look at this. There's a low tack tape already there. I'm gonna tape my stencil down. I mean, tape my tag onto my stencil. Let me get that off of there. I'm gonna reuse that. Look at that. Tape the top. Tape the sides. And I'm just using some tape that I saved off to the side. Okay, perfect. So that's on there. I'm going to use blending brushes in 2 different sizes. And I am going to use the tumbled glass first. Because we embossed on our tag, the embossing powder will actually resist the ink. I like Distress Oxide inks. They are a dye and pigment fused ink pad, and they're wonderful for ink blending. They make your life a lot easier. So if you struggle with ink blending, I would highly recommend picking up a few colors of the Distress Oxide inks and giving them a try. Perfect. So you could come in and kind of just gently wipe the stencil. My first tag, I did not do this, and it doesn't hurt. So you can wipe it, or you really don't need to. Now I'm going to come in with the milled lavender. And so with the milled lavender, I'm not going to cover the entire trees. I'm only going to go halfway up the trees. And that's what's going to give us that two-tone effect. Can you see it? Right there. Okay. Ink up my brush, and here we go. And I'm just gonna ink half the trees. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just want to get that two-tone effect. Okay. Maybe I'll do the top. All right. I'm gonna get some up here, here, here. Kind of just go over. Make sure I have a decent amount of the milled lavender because I'm going to come back in with the tumbled glass just to kind of bring back in that blue. Add some of that blue back in just in case I went a little too high. I think that looks good. I'm going to stop there. Okay. I'm running out of space on my desk. Got a lot of stuff everywhere. I'm going to wipe that off really quick. Get off that excess ink. Actually, I'm going to use a microfiber cloth because I'm also going to try to get some of that ink off of the embossing powder, which they call the Emboss Resist. I'm doing this with the stencil on because if I take the stencil off and I try to do this, I might smear the ink in places I don't want it. So, oops. Being careful because the stencil does have sharp edges, and that's what it did. It caught onto the cloth. But I think that looks good. So we're going to peel this off. How cute. I think that's adorable. And we're just going to, because I have ink on my tape now, I'm not going to reuse these. I'm going to pull them off, and in the trash they will go. And look how cute. Look how cute that turned out. Super cute. Okay, so as you can see, I do have some ink on my glass mat. Before we move on, I'm just going to take some alcohol and I am going to clean off my mat. That's kind of my brief cleaning. To deep clean though, sometimes I'll get, you know, spatter or acrylic paint or just, it gets kind of mucky. When I want to deep clean, what I find that works really, really good is if you can find this glass cleaner. Spray away. It really is the world's best glass cleaner. It works really well, and it also gets off adhesive too, which I thought was great. And it's ammonia free. You do have to shake the can. It is a foam spray. It's a little messy, but it's not that bad, but it works really good. So anyways, there's that little tidbit. So let's bring back our tag. We've done our stamping, we've done our heat embossing, our stenciling. So now let's work on our die cuts. And the candy canes, the bow tie, and the word all come from Pretty Pink Posh. Here's one. There are two different die sets. And I had them all here, but things get moved around. Okay. So, oh, I guess I could zoom back out. Okay, so the candy canes are from the Pretty Pink Posh Winter Mug die set. So we're gonna pull those out. And then for the bow and the word joy, I'm going to use the Holiday Mug Editions die set from Pretty Pink Posh. So there's the bow, there's the word joy. The bow, it's not just gray cardstock, but it has like a metallic sheen to it. And that is from Gina K Designs. And off the top of my head, I don't remember the name. I think it's something along the lines of like metallic gray cardstock or something like that. But I will have it, all the products that I used, will be listed in the description box below. So you can head on down there and get the exact verbiage of what the name is to that cardstock. Looks like this. So I will go ahead and die cut everything out. Whoops, I'm actually using some scrap pieces of cardstock from my scrap collection that I just keep in a stamp pocket. So we'll need red. I wonder if I can get, actually it would be this one. Can I get this to fit? Oh, I can. Okay, perfect. And then I still have a piece of the black. Perfect. And then silver. Okay. I'll also need white, but I don't know that I necessarily like that white. I like that white piece better. And then we need red. And I'm literally just digging into my scrap bin right now because I don't want to use a full sheet of paper. Oh, I kind of like that red. There's two different reds here. One's darker, one's lighter. Both these cardstocks come from Gina K Designs. Wow, I did not mean to shake you. And I believe, again, off the top of my head, I want to say this is Red Hot and this may be Red Velvet. So I actually have my Gina K swatches here. I swatch the colors and then the cardstock that I have, I just punch out actually using her smaller tag from the Tag Trio die set, which is what we're using this is the medium size. Again, just to reference, that comes from this set right here. And this color is Red Hot. So this is Red Hot. This color is, I believe, oh yeah, that matches that one. So that one is my Red Velvet. So Red Hot and Red Velvet. I will be using my Gemini Junior to cut all my die cuts. So I will be back in just a second because I'm going to die cut everything. Okay, so now that all my die cut pieces have been cut out, I cut out the bow twice, even though we're only going to use one, because the die has the center of the bow, the knot. It's a one die piece. So, and because I wanted the center to be glitter, I had to cut it out twice, but see how it's connected? It's one die. But it's okay because I'll just save this for another project. I won't throw it away. I save and hoard everything. All right. Oh, and for the joy, sorry, this is gonna be a really dirty acrylic block, but you have to be very careful with the joy because the tittle is extremely tiny, and this is a tittle, so he can easily get lost. But that is a little tittle to the eye, to the J. There you go, joy. So I'm gonna put him to the side just so I don't lose him because we don't really need to do anything with him until we actually assemble the tag. So I am going to be using my, nope, that's not it. That's my Glossy Accents. My Gina K Designs liquid adhesive, my favorite liquid adhesive in a fine tip applicator bottle. one of these days, I'm actually going to vinyl this. I just haven't got around to doing that yet. And to get the glue in this bottle, I actually buy her full size 2-ounce Connect bottles. And this is what I use to refill my fine tip applicator bottles. I have already refilled my bottle quite a few times, so there's a little bit left. So I'm actually going to use this to glue my pieces together. Actually, you know what? I need to make sure my bottle's not clogged. It's been a minute since I used it. Since the last time I used it was to refill my bottle. Just make sure if I can get it glowing. Do I have a needle? If your bottle ever gets clogged, just shove a needle through it. Here we go. Let's see if I unclogged that. It's just random stuff that I have off to the side. These are some poinsettias I worked on. That is from this tag that I created. Maybe we'll do this tag next. I'm not sure yet. Leave me a comment if you'd like to see how this tag was created. Or maybe I might just do it, but I like to hear from you guys, so put that there. Let me see if I unclogged this. I did. Perfect. So we're going to add a dab of glue there. I'm going to use my Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick up and place that on top. And the reason my acrylic blocks are always so dirty is because for the most part, even though they are made for freehand stamping, I use them as paperweights. And then I end up getting glue on them because I put too much. Got a little overly excited with my glue. Okay, there we go. So next, let's assemble our candy canes. For the white one, I'm gonna go with the red glitter. For the red, I'm gonna go with the white glitter. And we're just gonna start gluing these pieces together. I don't know if I can actually pick up, oh, it does. Pick up glitter cardstock. Put that there. We're gonna put one here, which I believe is, it's probably easier if you can try to keep your pieces in the negative. Then you don't have to fiddle around trying to figure out where they go. Pop that out. Put that there. Put this one right here. And this one kind of goes in the middle. Getting glue everywhere, but that's okay because it goes on white but dries clear. Oop. I'm gonna scratch my cardstock, and then this goes on the tip. Where did she go? There she is. I'll pop her down like that. And there she is. How cute. Look how cute she is. She's still wet and I'm messing with it because I can. Making my crafting life a little bit difficult. But here we are. Isn't she cute? Okay. So now we're going to do the same for the white candy cane. Put down a little bit of glue. I probably shouldn't do that because I'm probably going to get glue everywhere, but why not? Uh-oh, am I missing a piece? Oh, there it is. Okay, come on, flip over. Lay you down first. Okay, cute, cute. Is it this one? I don't know. Now I'm gonna whisper to myself. I think so. I think it's this one. If I would have kept them in place, I wouldn't have to struggle. So I'm putting the die cut piece right above the stitch line. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, I like to see the stitches. Okay. You could cover the stitches if you don't like to see them, but I think they're cute, so we're gonna keep them. Wow, that's crooked. I wonder if that piece goes there. Oh, it's because that doesn't go there. Just kidding. I'm gonna gently peel that up, put that off to the side. Add some more glue. It is this piece. There we go. Oh, much better. Okay. Come here, Mr. Wrong Place. Okay. Is he lined up? Yeah. All right, 2 more pieces. 1, 2. Cover my cap. This one will go up here. And this one will go right here. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right, here he is. Cute. Just gonna use my pick to kind of smooth that out. Isn't he adorable? Look. Oh, so cute. Cute, cute. Okay, so I'll probably put medium-sized acrylic block on top, because why not? Let's move all this out of the way. I try to keep my area somewhat clean. Keyword, somewhat, or 2 words. Alrighty. So, let's bring our tag back in. You could keep the tag just like this. I think this is beautiful. But we're gonna add to it. Okay. We are going to glue our candy canes together. Probably right in the middle, just like that. Yep. Yep. Okay. Because why not? There's so many different ways you can do this, but today we're gonna make an X. Bloop. How do I want this lined up? I think I actually want it like, but I want him to be taller. It's the nice part about liquid glue. It is super forgiving. And to hold these together, I'm actually gonna use my reverse tweezers because I move them around. So I'm just gonna give that a second. And those will go right there. Poke out. Ooh. Come on. Please be nice. To play well with others. Get out of there. All right. So now let's go ahead and adhere our bow. Right in the middle. How cute. Do I want it like that? Yeah, I think that's cute, just like that. Give that a second. And then for this piece, I'm going to, now that we're getting kind of close to adhering the joy, I could use this bottle. I mean, it has like a fine hole at the tip, so I could use this, but I really love my fine tip applicator bottles. So we're gonna put you off to the side. And here it is. All right. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna flip them over, being very careful because that bow is still wet. So I don't want to move it around, but I am going to add some glue. Make sure the candy canes don't go anywhere. We're just gonna stick them right I think I like it like, do I like it right there? Let me bring in the joy. Yeah, I think that's cute. Yep. Okay, excuse me, Joy. Push that down. Give that a second. And then I'm gonna use my tweezers to hang on to this because it is a tiny, tiny little die cut. And this is where that fine tip is really gonna come in handy. There you go. Uh-oh. See, this is what happens when you use too much glue, Jillian. There you go. We're gonna nestle the joy right here. Push that down. How cute is that? And our little tittle. Boop. I'm gonna try to get the tittle. This little guy, he is the tiniest dot. I mean, look at how tiny he is. Oh, where am I? Look at that. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but he's so tiny. I'm gonna lay him down right there. Look. How cute. Look at how cute this tag came out. So many different layers. We have a little bit of die cutting mixed with stenciling, embossing, a bunch of different techniques, and such a cute little card. Alrighty, guys. And again, later on, I will glue the back. It also makes the tag a little bit more sturdy too, since we heat embossed. 2 layers. See? You know what? We'll just do it. We're here. Let's complete it. You don't need this much glue, but apparently I am Hulk strength today, and I'm just overdoing it. Just put that on top, just like that. We're gonna line it up. Oops. And then again, because my twine or bows, whatever you want to do to finish your tag, are not in the same location that I am in, I'm going to skip it, but I will, before I place my tag on a gift, I will add the twine. Here we are. And that completes today's tag project. I'll try to zoom in for you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's paper crafting project. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.